Namaste, children. How are you all? Hope you're all doing well. I welcome you all to the new online session of learning. Before we begin with the lesson, let me ask you some questions. Are you all ready, children? Yes. Do you like to receive gifts? Yes, of course. Everyone loves to receive gifts. You might all have received gifts on your birthday or on any other family occasion, right, children? Sometimes the gifts may not be of material objects, it can be of emotions like happiness. So, the lesson which we are going to deal in that particular lesson, that particular sort of happiness is captured. So, the lesson which we are going to deal is the best Christmas present in the world. It is from your Honeydew book, Chapter 1, Class 8 English. This particular lesson, which we are going to deal with, it deals about the backdrop of war between the Britain and German in 1914. And this lesson talks about two scenarios. Now, first of all, we'll discuss the first scenario. So, in the first scenario, it is about the war that happened between the Britain and German soldiers on Christmas Eve. And both the enemies on the battlefield, instead of fighting, they decide or they decide themselves that they will celebrate the Christmas, and they start celebrating Christmas. And it was seen that each and every soldier of the Britain as well as the German, they are very happy and contented, and they decide that instead of fighting, they think that instead of fighting, let us play some sort of games or compete in sports, so that they decide or they'll be able to judge who wins or loses. So as they had the happiness, so they decide in this particular way. And in the first part, we come to know that that sort of happiness which they acquire, that is the best present or the best Christmas present in the world, in the first part of the story. Now, coming to the second scenario, or in the second part, we come across a lady, and her name is Connie Macpherson, whose husband is a captain of the English army, and he was fighting in the war. He wrote a letter to his wife, Connie, narrating the wonderful incident which has happened. So, which I was narrating to all that particular incident, he has narrated, he has written a letter. In that letter, he has narrated the wonderful incident that happened on the battlefield. And also, he promised in that letter that he will visit her he will visit her for the next Christmas Eve. And it so happened, luck did not favor the couple, children, and he died in the war. And Connie was, as she loved her husband a lot, she was unable to bear the pain. And the letter which he has written, she kept it to her heart. And one day, her house in which she was living was burnt in the fire, and she was shifted to a nursing home. She kept the letter in a desk. That letter which she kept in a desk, it was found by the narrator. And the narrator, actually, we should not read others' letters, isn't it? So he was unable to suppress his curiosity. He unfolds the letter, and he reads the letter. And when he read the letter, he comes to know that this Connie is in a nursing home. So he went to her, or he went to the nursing home, and there he saw Connie. You can see here in the picture, children. So the lady was sitting in that wheelchair, she's Connie. And the person who is giving something, you can see in the picture, and that man is the narrator. The narrator went to Connie with the letter. He met her in the nursing home and kept the letter in front of her. Connie was very old, children, and she was not in a stable mind. And when author called her Connie and gave the letter to her, her eyes lit up. She was very happy She mistook the narrator as her husband Jim. There was happiness on her face. So the happiness which Coney experienced was the best Christmas present in the world for her in the later part of the story. Now, let us read the lesson. The lesson is divided into three parts. So, in today's class, we'll deal with part 1. So, before we deal with part 1, children, let us know about the author who has written this particular lesson, The Best Christmas Present in the World. So, the author is Michael Morpurgo. So, this Michael Morpurgo was born on October 1943. That is on 5th October. He is an English book author, poet, playwright who is best known for children's novels such as War Horse, which was written in the year 1982. His work is noted for its magical storytelling, for recurring themes such as the triumph of an outsider or survival, for characters, relationships with nature, and for vivid settings such as the Cornish coast or World War I. Morpurgo became the third children's laureate from 2003 to 2005. Now let us see some of his books. Mr. Skip, The Butterfly Line, The Dancing Bear, Billy the Kid, Farm Boy, then Tom's Sausage Line. So find time, children, and read any one of his book. Now coming to the lesson. I spotted it in a junk shop in Bridport, a small roll-top desk. The man said it was early 19th century and oak. I had wanted one, but they were far too expensive. This one was in a bad condition. The roll top in several pieces, one leg clumsily mended, scotch marks all down one side. So here I refers to the narrator. So narrator, he happens to go to a junk shop. So what is this junk shop? Junk shop is a place where you come across some antique pieces or the second hand goods. So that junk shop is in Bridport, that is in England. And this author has he wanted to have a roll top desk. So he goes there. You can see in the second picture. The first one is the Bridport, children, that is the town. Then the second picture, there you can find the author going to a junk shop. So there you can see all the items, all the antique pieces. So here he wants to have a roll top desk. So the man said it was early 19th century. So he selects one roll top desk, and the man, the seller of that particular junk shop, he says that that particular roll top desk belongs to early 19th century and it was made of oak. Oak is the wood which is used for furniture. And as this narrator badly wanted a roll top desk, he, wherever he had gone and he wanted to purchase, he came across the price which was very expensive. Okay, but now here, which he had seen in the junk shop, that was in a bad condition. Okay, the roll top in several pieces. So in several pieces it was in bad condition. One leg, so one leg of the roll top desk was clumsily mended. Clumsily means awkwardly repaired. And scotch marks refers to the burn marks all down one side. So there were burn marks on the roll top desk. Probably it was burnt. Okay, now we'll move on to the next one. It was going for very little money. I thought I could restore it. It would be a risk, a challenge, but I had to have it. I paid the man and brought it back to my workroom at the back of the garage. I began to work on it on Christmas Eve. So it was going for a very little money. Was going for means it was being sold for less amount or for cheap. So it was coming for cheap. It was not expensive. So I thought, I here again refers to the narrator. So narrator thought that as the roll top desk was being sold for less amount, then he planned, or he wanted to have it. So he thought that he will restore it. Restore means he will purchase that and then he will repair that. He thought that it will be risk, and it will also be a challenge for him to repair and to have it. And he paid amount to that seller, and he brought it to his workroom. And where was this workroom, children? At the back of the garage. There he kept it, and he started working on that. On Christmas Eve he started working that on that. I removed the roll top completely and pulled out the drawers. The veneer had lifted almost everywhere. It looked like water damage to me. Both fire and water had clearly taken their toll on the desk. The last drawer was stuck fast. I tried all I could to ease it out gently. So here I removed the roll top completely and pulled out the drawers. So you can see here the narrator, what he's doing, everything is checking it out. He's pulling the drawers. The veneer. So what is this veneer, children? Here you can see down the meaning. A thin layer of plastic or decorative wood on furniture of cheap wood. So veneer is a thin layer which is fixed on the cheap wood so that it looks very expensive. Okay, so that veneer has been lifted up. So when water is thrown on that, when water is poured on that, that thin layer which is put on the cheap wood, no, that comes out, that comes up. Okay, so that has been lifted up. Everywhere it was like that, and it looked like water damage to me. So he thought that, this author thought that probably water has been poured on that, so that's why that veneer has been lifted up. Okay, both fire and water had completely taken their toll on this desk. So taken their toll on means, so the water as well as the fire which has been which was there on that particular roll top desk, so it has completely damaged it. So it was completely damaged by fire as well as water. So the last drawer was stuck fast. So the last drawer which was there, no, it was stuck, it was not opening. And he tried, okay, he tried a lot, and he could to ease it out gently. So he thought that he can open it, but he was unable to open the drawer. So we'll see what he is going to do it. In the end, I used brute force. I struck it sharply with the side of my fist, and the drawer flew open to reveal a shallow space underneath a secret drawer. There was something in there. I reached in and took out a small black tin box. Sellotaped to the top of it was a piece of lined note paper, and written on it in shaky handwriting. So here in the end means finally, what did he do? He used brute force, a great force he has used in order to open that drawer. So finally he was able to open it very quickly with the side of his fist. Okay, and the drawer has been opened. So when he had opened the drawer, you can see in the first picture, he had opened the drawer. So he could find a shallow space underneath. So underneath there, he could find some space over there. Over there, underneath, a secret drawer was also there. There was something in there. So under that secret drawer, he could see something. You can see in the second picture, he is seeing something there. So what is that? Yes, finally he was able to see a small black tin box. Okay, a small black tin box was there, and that was sellotaped. Okay, and something was written. You can see in the next picture also, children. So something sellotaped and something was written. Okay, so here it is written, something was written on that, on the top of it, and a piece of lined note paper was written, and that was written in a very shaky handwriting, right? So we'll see what is written over there. Jim's last letter, received January 25th, 1915, to be buried with me when the time comes. I knew as I did it that it was wrong of me to open the box, but curiosity got the better of my scruples. It usually does. So here what happened? Jim's last letter received. So what is that? The last letter received. So when it was received, on January 25th in the year 1915. And it is said that to be buried with me when the time comes. So when time comes, that letter has to be buried. And I knew. So Jim's last letter means Jim has written that particular letter, and that is the last letter of Jim. Received. So someone received it. So when did they receive? Yes, it was on January 25th. In the year 1915 it was received. And they said that to be buried with me when the time comes. So when time comes, it has to be buried with me. I knew as it was that it was wrong of me to open the box. So when all this it has been written on that, the narrator knew that it was very wrong for him to open that box and to see it. But what happened? He was very curious. He wanted to know what it is there, what is written in that particular letter. So but curiosity got better off. So got better off means his curiosity has won over my scribbles. So what is the scribbles? Scribbles refers to the moral consideration. So everyone will have their moral values. So his curiosity has won over his moral values, and he wanted to open that particular box, and he wanted to read that particular letter. Okay, it usually does. So it usually does means sometimes it happens frequently by people whose curiosity it will be won over by their moral values, right? Now, inside the box, there was an envelope. So, when he had opened it, so inside what was there? One envelope was there. The address read. So, the address read means on that some address was written. So, what is that address? Mrs. Jim Macpherson, 12 Copper Beaches, Bridport, Dorset. So, this is the address which is there on the envelope. I took out the letter and unfolded it. So he has taken the letter. Who has taken the letter, children? Yes, the narrator has taken the letter and he had unfolded it. Means he has opened that letter. So it was written in pencil and dated at the top December 26, 1914. Okay, so he had opened that letter and how it was written in a pencil. And what was the date which was written on the top? Yes, December 26, 1914 it was written. Is this clear, children? So we'll find out what is there in the letter in the next part of the story. Is it clear to everyone, children? Yes. Thank you.